G'day Gooners and welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great start to the off season, and the World Cup is nearly here and the World Cup fever is starting to hit as it's about to begin. But before that begins, I just wanted to go have a bit of a reflection of the season that was, and to start things off, I just wanted to go through 5 Premier League games that I felt were huge turning points that really led me to believe that this season was finally going to be the season that we would get over the line. So there was 38 match weeks to choose from, but here are my top 5. The first one was Newcastle away at St. James Park, where we came out victors 2-1. And this match bookended what would have been one of the toughest starts to a season so far. We would have played Manchester United away, Liverpool away, and Manchester City. The history at St. James Park for the Gunners hasn't been good of late, losing our last 3 matches at their home ground. And it looked like history was about to repeat itself as Voldemada was able to head in the ball into the back of the net at around the 34th minute. And it was despite, us creating a lot of chances and even a penalty decision that was reversed via VAR. It took us quite a long time to break through, but eventually an inspirational performance from Odegaard coming off the bench leads to a Merino header into the bottom corner on 84 minutes. And in the dying breaths of the game, a corner from Odegaard sees Gabriel head with a trademark goal to win the game 2-1. This game was what I believe the first true turning point of our season. Firstly, to overcome our recent history at St. James Park, to relentlessly fight through a stubborn Newcastle defence. Our killer instinct on set pieces was on show. Odegaard coming off the bench with a true captain's performance, something that we will see later on in the season as well. This theme of getting over the line against opposition that in the past has proven difficult, the never die attitude, is something that will carry over the course of the whole season. The second game was, I believe, the Aston Villa game at the Emirates, where we came out 4-1 victories. 24 days earlier, the reverse fixture was played at Villa's home, where we were a victim to the last kick winner and we lost the game 2-1. Villa has been a thorn to Mikel's side in the past, so another loss to Emery would allow them to truly solidify themselves as title contenders, whilst allowing us to be dragged down. However, the match wasn't close in the end. Despite Aston Villa baring their teeth in the first half, and we were very close to conceding, but we were able to hang on with a 0-0 scoreline. The second half was a completely different story. We opened up the scoring of a corner yet again by Gabriel. And then quickly, Odegaard was able to dissect the defence with a lovely ball into Zubimendi, who slots it past the keeper. And then we score on 2 more to finish the match 4-1. The match was significant to me because it showed our ability to bounce back after a difficult loss, and once again beating our past demons in getting past Unai Emery's men. In the absence of Declan Rice, which was a big worry going into this match, who suffered a knee injury in the match prior, Zubimendi and Odegaard definitely stepped up, and Saliba and Gabriel were once again showing why they are the best centre-back pairing in the world, as without them, Villa would have definitely broken through. The third match was Everton home at the Emirates 2-0 victory. We all know Everton is a very tough defense to crack, and this game was no different, with the match going down to the wire as Everton were resolute. It was a match of magical moments. I mean, look at this Calafiori block on the ground. Although we will later remember this game for the coming out party of Max Dowman, who subs on for Zubimendi at the 74th minute to deliver a cross that leads to a Gyökeres goal, and then his memorable run from a last-ditch Everton corner, running the length of the pitch to score his best ever goal and becoming the youngest ever player to score a Premier League goal. What spoke out to me for this game was the atmosphere of the crowd. At many times during the season, especially in front of the home crowd, when the match is tight and a result is difficult, there's a certain nervous energy that fills the stadium, an energy that even I can feel through my screen. However, that night was filled with encouragement and belief as the crowd constantly willed the Gunners on. Even after the first goal, the players kept attacking, learning from the past where we would let slip a late goal due to playing in a conservative, negative mindset. This atmosphere would continue on during the season. Next was the Manchester City away tie at the Etihad, where we were losers 2-1. And going into this game, we were struggling. We lost the Carabao Cup final. We got knocked out of the FA Cup. And the previous week, we lost to Bournemouth. City were closing in on the gap, and a loss here would most likely see them catch up in points and potentially take the lead. And unfortunately, our biggest fear came true. We end up losing, which led the Leeds to City, catching up in points and ultimately taking over the number 1 spot after winning their game in hand. And the word bottle yet again comes to mind. However, despite the result, I think the performance during the game inspired a lot of confidence. Unlike our game in the Carabao Cup final, the boys took it to City and at times dominated periods of the game, especially in the second half, and were unlucky not to come away from the game with at least a point. It was a distinct change in attitude that confirmed that the Gunners had regained their fiery competitiveness, and ultimately it was what led to a fantastic running period. Rice's "it's not done" moment will live on forever. And finally, the West Ham United game away at London Stadium, 1-0 victory. It was a game that made me think of divine interventions that really saw that there was some higher up power that was willing us towards the finish line. First was Raya's save, where Fernandez gets slipped in behind our last line, that clear one-on-one opportunity, and somehow Raya's outstretched leg is able to keep the score level. When I was watching it, that moment just felt like an eternity. I was sure we were going to go down 1-0. Couldn't believe that Raya was able to keep it up. And then Odegaard's magical cameo coming off the bench, providing a brilliant spark to come up with an amazing assist to Trossard, and then the VAR decision of all decisions. We thought we had yet again conceded another last-second goal. We thought we had choked away our grip on the title, but after more than 5 long, painful minutes, the magical words were spoken.
After review, West Ham at number 19 commits a foul on the goalkeeper.
And that was when I knew we just had to win the title. To win a Premier League, you need a lot of luck, and that was a lot of luck. Thanks for watching. Do you agree with my list? Was there any other game that maybe you could have put on the list instead? Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll continue to do more post-season reviews.